Laws of time travel. Say if you're in more than one place. You are in more than one place. Multiple dimensions. But time doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. But, so time travel doesn't really exist other than in your mind. But everything is happening in the past, in the present, and the future all at once. But with the paradox of you being in another time, quote-unquote time, you're actually in another dimension. And so if there are two of you, versions of you, in the same dimension, you know how they say, you know, if you even see the other you, all reality will crumble or whatever. Something bad will happen. But the real thing is, not seeing yourself, but because I've seen myself in a different dimension before, and nothing bad happened. But if you exist in the same dimension in reality as another you, but you don't know it, the other you is hiding or something, or the other you doesn't even know about it, then one body, there can only be one of you in one dimension at a time, you know, at least for a certain amount of time. Before one, something bad happens, the whole reality ceases to exist or something like that, and the list goes on with that topic. But what I think happens is one body will start to get sick and in some way, and over time start deteriorating, and the progression will be faster as the other version of you is in the same dimension. But what do you do if you can't, you know, if you are in a different spot than you, if you know what I mean? But so what do you do? And you may think that's crazy. You can't actually see yourself in another dimension and be there with it. That's just science fiction. But think about this, with your mind, you can travel through dimensions and shift, and we're always constantly shifting dimensions over and over and over and over, probably every millisecond, even faster than that probably. So we are constantly changing into another version of us, even though we can't notice it. There's little tiny things, but we don't notice them. It's when big things start to happen that we actually see it. So maybe if with this frequency vibration rising, and the transition to New Earth, or 3D to 5D and 8D, whatever, maybe if you're unstable in these dimensions and these shifts, then there's going to be multiple versions of yourself competing to be one version, because the whole goal here is to become one with Source. And to do that, you have to become one with your higher self, and become one with your physical self, and merge them together, and they have to be on the same level, the same frequency, same vibration. If they're not, then is that why death happens? Is that why we die? Because we start, you know, our consciousness expands and our awareness, and these shifts that constantly happen over and over, if we can't handle it mentally or physically, and we can't adapt to the changes, how subtle they may be, because we don't notice them, or if they're even big changes and we can't adapt, but another version of you can't either, or another. So there might be thousands or hundreds of thousands of versions of you that cannot adapt, and only a few that can. So you have to raise your vibration to reach the other versions of you that can adapt and change and keep existing. But if you can't reach and merge with your higher versions, then you stay constantly like this, with all your different versions of you and all the different realities and all the different dimensions, all the different timelines, completely shaking up and down, not knowing what to do, where to go. And because of this, it becomes harder and harder and harder to raise your vibration and get up to where you need to be to keep existing and surviving and being alive. So then your body just starts to break down and decay and rot, and it started chaos in the mind, chaos in the body. You start losing your memories. You'll start misremembering your own damn lifetime. You won't know eventually who you even are anymore, or what you did in the past or the present or the future, and your memory gets shot. Your body changes and you become ultra sensitive, maybe, or that might just be me, but at least that the first part. And then you just die because you can't handle it. There's so many versions of you, and you've had so many chances in the different versions, in the different dimensions, to notice the small changes and change with them and adapt, but you don't, because it's not enough for you. You need to see it to believe it, right? Or you need something big to happen to notice the change in order to accept it and move on and raise your frequency and vibration to the higher versions of yourself that are existing in a better state of being. So like, if you feel horrible like shit, you know, one minute you might feel horrible and the next minute you feel good. Well, I'm guessing maybe that minute you feel good, or whatever, how long, is actually just a version of your higher self that you're tapping into, that it already feels good and is doing good. But the version of you is not doing good and it's not doing well, but you tapped into that for a minute or an hour or however long, and you think you're doing better. So then you go back down and you start feeling like shit again, because there's more versions of yourself that are doing bad, not doing good. And it's not saying good or bad, evil, whatever. I don't mean it like that. You're just not adapting and changing and upgrading. So all these versions, there's too many. Say, like, let's just say 100 versions of you are not doing good out of 1,000. Or I got that backwards. Say like 900 versions of you are not doing good out of 1,000, and 100 are doing good in other dimensions, but only 100 dimensions are you actually where you want to be. So in the other 900, you're constantly having to, but everything starts getting worse, because the less and less you're able to connect to the higher that's doing good, those 100 versions of yourself, then the 900 are just going to keep getting worse at it. And then your brain will start shutting down. Your body will start shutting down. This is just an idea of big thinking, and this is what it just came to me randomly watching the movie Parallel. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's just, I was thinking about time travel and how people think of time travel and what time travel really is. and it's not going back in time or forward in time. You can do that in your mind, in your head, all, you know, people with PTSD like me, we do it all the time. We go back in time and we relive experiences. But you can't change anything back in the past. So I think I stated what I needed to state, where there's too many versions of yourself and too many dimensions that aren't able to tap into the higher self and to ascend to the 5D or whatever you want to call the shift up and out of the third, the hell, the realm, whatever dimension, whatever you want to put name on it, whatever. So is that what death is? So we could tap into never dying ever if we could just stay with, say, 1,000 versions of ourselves on the same frequency, on a good frequency, rather than down on a bad frequency where it's all chaos and we're in such a bad state of being mentally and physically that we can't even fathom meditating or anything, because we're just trying to survive and exist, period. Just living to exist is not living at all. It sucks, and I know that giving up is not the answer, but of course you want to give up when it's that bad, of course, but I'm trying to figure out a way to fix this and get these 900 versions of myself in line with the 100 versions, or however many that are actually doing good somewhere in space-time. I don't know what else to say there. The fabric of reality, existence, whatever. That's it. Just wanted to make this mental log, because I'm not gonna say anything more than I feel cruddy, and I hope another version of me is not feeling cruddy and I can tap into that soon, today, hopefully. And all the other versions of me out there, I love you, and keep on pushing on and keep trying to fight for your life. And I love you. All of you.